Hi, my name is Linda Meyer, and I am very proud and excited to welcome you to Mary Kay Cosmetics and into my unit. Obviously, if you're watching this, you're in my unit somewhere, you're in my downline, and so just listen and see where this might go for you. But I will tell you a little bit about me. I have been leading a top unit in Mary Kay for well over 30 years. I love what I do. My job is to train and mentor and be a coach for any woman who comes into Mary Kay or comes into my unit, no matter what level you choose to work with. You may choose to do it personal use, part-time, full-time, or even, right now you may have no idea what you want to do with it. I will also share that I'm passionate about building women who want the position of directorship. And that is just the management level of Mary Kay. So if you think that's for you, make sure you're open and honest with me and even tell me about that, because I'm passionate about building leaders in this company. But like I said, at this point, you might have no clue what you want to do with it. Most people do come into Mary Kay and we buy one of those starter kits and we don't have a clue in the beginning. But my advice is as you step into it, just keep an open mind and be willing just to dream about maybe what this business might be able to do for you and even for your family, because sometimes I think God gives us things for our life in mysterious ways, so you just never know. So that's what I would share with you. I will tell you, Mary Kay Ash herself, she did start this company over 50 years ago, and she started for women to enrich women's lives, whether by using the product, which is going to be part of your job, just showing the products, and or with this opportunity. So, and with that, I will tell you, this company is such a good company, and I think it's because of that woman. And I'm proud to say that I was actually trained by Mary Kay Ash herself, and that is why this company is so great. She was an amazing woman. If you have time, read that autobiography in your case, because I really believe she was a woman like no other, in the world, especially 50 years ago. I will also know that you're a part of a top-ranked unit, not only an amazing company that is, top-ranked across the world. You have came into a very good unit, even where we have years of good experience in, and I can tell you I've led women for over 30 years and have helped many hundreds and probably thousands of women be successful in this business. But I am passionate about just taking anybody and helping you build this business, no matter what we choose to do with it. Also, like I said, over 30 years of even running a unit in Mary Kay, I will tell you I've had a lot of success. So at this point, with you being unsure of what you want to do, just write on my success. I have led units to be in the top of this company, top 10 for years and years and years. Number 2 one time, number 4 one time, $1 million unit one year. And with that in mind, that's not all about me. When you hear those kind of figures and that kind of success, that just means that that's a lot of women being very successful. That's what makes a top unit in this company. So I'm very proud to have done that for so many women, and I will continue to do it till the day I die, I swear. I will also share a little bit about myself with you, so you kind of know who I am and where I come from. But I did start this business when I was in my early 20s, and I had no clue what I was going to do with it. I was a full-time nurse at the time and thought I would live and die a nurse. Never dreamed I would do anything in makeup or sales. I had no clue about anything. But I will just tell you, I have done this business with small children. I have done this business being pregnant. I have done this business as a single parent for many years of my career. And I have done it alongside that nursing job for a couple of years until I built. So I really believe I have done it in various different fashions, so that I can really reach out and hopefully relate to you maybe where you're coming from. I've also worked this business around a lot of life changes. I've had, over the 30 years, I have had a lot of slam dunks in my life. And so I have a lot of, hopefully, insight to help women walk through some obstacles in your life, because there's not going to be any of us that's going to get through life without a few slam dunks. But I also will just head you up. To be successful in Mary Kay, it really won't matter today where you're sitting in your life. It won't matter if you're married, not married, have kids, don't have kids, old, young. It really will not matter. I truly believe a woman can do well in Mary Kay if you are totally just, number one, willing. If you're willing to take a look at this and say, I don't know what I want to do this, but I am willing. Okay? And then just bring your great talents you've had from the life you've lived so far and just bring that to the plate to work with. And that's how you're going to start Mary Kay. And then the rest is just following directions. Following directions is somebody that can lead you and teach you this business. This is definitely a learned business. This isn't rocket science to do Mary Kay, but it's learned. And anybody can learn it if you're willing enough to do it. So that's how I'd start you out. The starter kit, you either have received it, maybe your recruiter has opened it with you, maybe you got it on your doorstep and you did it yourself, or maybe you haven't even received it yet. But if you haven't received that starter kit yet, it should be in your door probably within a few days of you filling out your agreement. Now, after that, you just have to look at that and say, you know, from that little case that is amazingly filled with stuff, that's your start of your business. That is not, you're now the CEO of a business. So kind of look at it that way. And what you do with it is totally up to you. But it does not matter. But really just think, wow, could I run my own business? Wouldn't that be fun? Wouldn't that be something amazing to have flexibility and stay home and be the boss? You'd probably be a good boss. I love my boss. So with that in mind, here we go. In that case, open that case up, go through it, you know, play in it, look at it. There is a magazine in that case that I would like you to open up and start going through. It's just fun, knowledge, nothing, light stuff, just to kind of get your wheels going in your head a little bit and get you thinking a little bit. Very good magazine. Read that. There's also a DVD in there. Now, the DVD might be a little foreign to you, and you might kind of go, wow. But you know what? That might never be you. But it does have some good pointers on it. So watch that even, if you can. And hopefully at this point you've already had a facial where you're actually wearing the products. Now, if you aren't at that point yet, that is your number one step. That is your number one step right now, to find your recruiter or find me and get a full-fledged facial. Because to sell the products, we need to get you in love with the products and get you wearing them every single day. So if you haven't done that, that is the first thing I want you to do, is make sure and find yourself a good facial, either from me or your recruiter or somebody. And then the second step in getting started is to line up some new consultant training with me. I really believe in good training. I think anybody can learn this business, and so I think training is vital. Now, if you live by me, you're probably going to do it one-on-one. You can actually come to my house, you can come to my training center, and we can do it eye to eye. But now, if you don't live near me, because we do have a whole international Canada group that we're dealing with, I'm so excited for our Canada group. So if you don't live near me, you're going to be able to find my new consultant training now all on YouTube. And you will get instructions from me when you receive a welcome letter from me, probably within your first week. So all that instructions will be coming to you. But just watching that training will be so vital for you. And I suggest you sit through that training, even if you're unsure what you want to do. Because you never know what might spark you or what you might hear that might go on to help you build this business, whether big or small. Okay? And then the third thing is just to get yourself to a Mary Kay meeting. I would really encourage everybody to attend a meeting. Now, maybe you'll be a regular meeting goer, maybe you won't be. I mean, that's totally going to be your choice. There's no meetings that are mandatory. If you do go to meetings, you're probably going to turn out good in this business, but they're not mandatory. Now, here where I live in Bowling Green, we do meetings on Tuesday nights at 6:30, and there are other meetings, various different towns, other towns around me at different times at different places. So between you and your recruiter and myself, we will figure out what might be the best time for you to come to meetings or what you can get to based on your other schedule. Because most of us do come into Mary Kay with another job, with kids, with the same husband you had when you signed up. So we got to work around all that to get you started. I also do some Saturday morning meetings. And so if that possibly would work for you, maybe Saturday's going to be something for you. But like I said, if you're not locally and you're up in Canada, your recruiter and I will also try and figure out what might be best for you to attend, or even maybe just working with her one-on-one too. So we have a lot of options. So, but when you do come to your first meeting, that's where you're going to probably be introduced and get your first Mary Kay pin. And even that's important. So hopefully you're looking forward to at least that. And I will take you back 30 years. I remember going to my very first meeting, and what I will promise you at most Mary Kay meetings, or at my meetings for sure, is that you will be in a very safe environment. You'll be around positive women. You'll be around happy women. You will learn that it will affect you, that you'll change your attitude. You'll probably find yourself being happier. Because it's women supporting women. And I look back and I think of that very first meeting I went to, that's what I saw. And to this day, that's still what I see at my Mary Kay meetings, and I hope you will too. And from there, oh my gosh, that will do a lot for you. And I also will remind you too, I think when I started years ago, I did start with an open mind. I was one of those women that had no clue what I was going to do with this Mary Kay thing. But I did go to that first meeting, and that is what has allowed me to do even more with this Mary Kay opportunity than I ever could have dreamed. So, open mind is what you required at this point. Now, from my initial starter kit, let me just share some of the things, because sometimes, you know, if you've never been exposed to Mary Kay before, you might not really have a clue of what it all really even offers. Let me tell you what I've got for my starter kit. When I think back, I have won 18 pink Cadillacs. I would have never probably bought and drove a pink Cadillac. I've won 9 1-carat diamond rings. I have won 13 4-carat diamond rings. I didn't even own a diamond ring when I got Mary Kay. I just want to sit here and scratch my head. I was from a little town called Pemberville, Ohio. I had my hair parted down the middle, little breadths in my hair. That is how cool I was when I joined Mary Kay. But even out of my starter kit, I have won and achieved all expense-paid trips to places like Rome and all throughout Italy, 4 different places in Italy, Switzerland, the French Riviera, Austria, France, a Greek Isle cruise that was beyond amazing. I went to Hawaii twice, London, Paris, an Alaskan cruise. I could go on and on and on, but I mean, that is stuff that I would have never have done in my nursing job. So, you know, that might be something you just might go, you know, maybe there is something more for me in life, you know, than what I'm currently doing. So, and I've also will tell you that this is a great business. I've had an executive income for over 27 years, well over 100,000 to some years closer to 200,000. And I did have $200,000 one year. Okay, so that's a flexible, great lifestyle for you and your children and your husband. And plus, like I said, along with that, yes, I love the money. Yes, I love the diamonds. Yes, I've loved everything this company has given me. But the one thing I would never be able to live with is the networking of quality women and the positive attitude this company has given me. That is priceless, in my opinion. So I would encourage you again, give yourself a try. You never know what's going to come out of your starter kit. Okay? But you just have to be willing to take a look at it. Lastly, I do want to cover what they call inventory. And that just means getting some products for yourself to sell. Now, what I would have you do is, if you don't even have it with you, go and get out of your original starter kit a brochure called Ready, Set, Sell. Okay? And it is going to look something like this. It will look like this. Okay? And it's in your original starter kit. Now, with getting products for yourself, or call it inventory, call it getting a store, call it whatever you want. What I will tell you what Mary Kay does is, Mary Kay allows you to be able to buy products ahead of time before you go out to sell them. Now, the advantage of that is, when you go out, it won't take you long to figure out that when you go out and do a facial, when women want their products, they want them right now. Okay? Cosmetics in general are very impulse buy. So if there's any way you can start with inventory, I highly do suggest it. I have been starting women for over 30 years. The women that can find a way to get some inventory, you'll never regret it. You will never regret it. So what I would tell you is to open up your book if you have it. Now, in this book, I have 2 different books here. I will show you the one you have. The new improved one that just came out doesn't show as many pictures, so I'm going to show you 2 different books. But the one you have on page 2, it does talk about the different levels. Because there are many different levels to start in inventory. There is no right and there is no wrong place to start, okay? But if you can start with inventory, again, one more time, I would suggest you do it. Now, there are some free giveaways on this first order. So, make sure you're working with your director or your recruiter on this first order so that you don't miss something, a small level or something, and just forfeit hundreds of dollars worth of products. Now, when you open up your book, it does tell you about the first thing, though, that talks about that you get a whole entire look for your own face if you do any of these levels. Now, why I think this is important is why they started it, is because women would get in Mary Kay and they would go out to their first party and they wouldn't have any inventory and they don't have it in their own bathroom, so they're out doing a party with another brand on their face. Not good. So that is why Mary Kay started giving you this whole look free, so that when you get your first order in, that little box is all for you with no guilt, and it goes right to your bathroom. And then you're able to go out and look the part of Mary Kay and you have it on your face before you start your parties. So just know that that's available to you immediately. Okay, then there will be another page in your book that talks about bundles. I do not really think you need to worry a whole lot about that. That is a part where you can talk to your director about and let her even worry about that. But product bundles are just free product that you're going to get with different levels of buying some Mary Kay inventory. It is free product from the company, so that when you want to pull out a time-wise repair, or you want to pull out a botanical line, and you want to enhance that original starter kit you got, it came free from the company, and you're not worried about pulling product. It doesn't cost you a thing then if the company gave it to you to enhance that original starter kit. Because that starter kit is good, but it certainly doesn't have everything you're going to want to have in it if you want to do more with the business. So just know that, as your director, I will help you figure out what bundles might be best for you. So that's kind of my job. I think at this point, your job is to take a look at the different levels and think, what could I do? Everybody is financially different when you come into Mary Kay. Some people have the advantage to have a credit card currently that you could use. Some people can borrow from their mother, their grandmother. Some people have some savings. So everybody's different. So do not think that wherever you're at with that is wrong or right. It's just where you're at. So how I would describe inventory is, though, this is a picture of what they would have considered full inventory. Okay, it is $3,600. You're going to invest that much money, but you're going to get double for your money. That is a level where you will get multiples of everything. You will get men's clones. You will get women's clones. You will get the body care. You will get the sun products. You could get a little bit of everything in that level. And that's why a lot of women do start this level. Women will start this level that are serious about Mary Kay, or they don't want to have any kind of time hassles with it. They want to be able to go out and have a class or do a facial and sell 3 mascaras and be able to hand them out and deliver them and be done with it. That's what that level is really important with. Now, also at that top level, you get all the bundles for free, so you can have fun with that and throw a lot of different things in your case. And there's a lot of other free things too that you can get between roll-up bags and more free mirrors and all kinds of stuff. So that will come in this if you decide to start at the top level. Okay, then it just goes down in 600 increments, way down to 600. Okay, the next one being a 3,000. Now these jars that you see even in this brochure here is not exactly what jars you'll get. We will customize really every order that we do to fit you, because everybody's different. Your age, your stage of life, who you might be going to sell to your clientele, so that when I put together an order for you, it will be really aimed at who you are, and it's going to fit your lifestyle and what you're probably going to sell. And at that point, you can trust me to know what you're going to sell. You won't be getting a bunch of stuff you're not going to sell, but you'll get the stuff that's going to be aimed at your level. Also, I think what's important too is when you get inventory to know that, let's say you do run out of a mascara and a customer of yours needs it by tomorrow. Once you have some inventory, that allows you to trade, a quick 1 or 2 items with your recruiter fast, or with me fast. You kind of have barter. I call it barter. So you can get your products. So if you run out of that 1 or 2 items, that's what inventory is good for too. But that is just called the 3,000, and it does you get almost all the bundles too, and you get a nice supply of everything. Okay, it's a great inventory. And then it goes down to what they call the 2,400. And again, I'll show you just a little picture, and it's still a good inventory. It's not as good as the other two, but if you can't start any higher, it's still an okay level. You still get several bundles of all that free product Mary Kay gives you, the mirrors, all the roll-up bags, and it's still a very good inventory too, if you can start higher. So like I said, there's no right or no wrong. And then they jump down what they call the $1,800 level. $1,800 is the last of what they call being a star consultant orders. 1,800 and above orders are star orders, where you come in winning prizes, you come in winning your star consultant pin, you come into the company on a real win. But even at an 1,800, you will have one of this, and one of this, and one of this, and one of this. Because you have to remember, when you start Mary Kay, there's a lot of lipsticks, there's a lot of eyeshadows, there's several different skincare lines. I mean, One of our lines, one box is going to cost $200. A fragrance is going to cost $20, $40. Every foundation, we got a lot of foundation shades. So just know that to put together a little store, it will take a little bit. So $1,800 is not going to like fill your garage. Okay, $1,800 is going to be on a little small shelf. Okay, so just know that about getting some products. At $1,800, I live in a college town, and I can start young girls with an $1,800 with no job and doing it part-time, and they're not threatened by that. So that's just what my experience over the years that I found out. But an $1,800 is better starting here than below, because one big thing you get too with the $1,800 is you get put in the company system. So that when somebody calls your town or somebody near you, you will get the hit from the company, and they will be sent to you. So these names of people calling the company who was hunting for products, or they're hunting for the opportunity, they will then send them out to you. But they will not send out any leads that they get to people that are out here with no inventory, which makes common sense, you know, because these people that are calling the company, they're looking for product. So that's why the company will only send them out to people who do the $1,800 and above. So that's another little perk right there. So, but that's the $1,800. And I'll be real honest. I started $1,800 30 plus years ago. Now, when I started, we had no anti-aging products. We had no lipsticks. We had one foundation line. We had one skincare. We had one red rouge, a little circle one. Cream that you put dots on. We had one red rouge. We had one women's fragrance, and we had one men's fragrance. When I think back to what we didn't have when I started, wow. Looking back, probably if I would have had the book and kept the book, I bet an 1,800 years ago was probably the highest level. But I can't even remember. I wish I would have saved that book. But I'm telling you what I learned, even many years ago when I started, scared as can be, didn't know what I was going to do, thought, how am I going to do this? I started with an 1,800. And I had to go to the bank and get a loan because I had no other way. Back then, when I started, we didn't even have credit cards. I find that hard to believe. But that was the truth. We didn't have it, so I had to go to the bank, and I was scared to death. But I still know that banker to this day, and I thank him every day, because I think when I went out of my box and I got some inventory, and I didn't know what I was going to do with the business day one, but I thought, okay, the woman told me who had me, joined me and trained me, she said, you know, Linda, you have another job and you have children, you need to have the product so you don't drive yourself crazy. And I said, okay. And I was smart enough to be led. And thank goodness, because it was that first inventory that kind of put me out of my little box and made me kind of work when I didn't want to work, and maybe had me work because I was a little nervous, I was a little scared because I had invested in myself. So I will tell you, it was the best thing I could have ever done. So that's me. But that was me, 1,800, many years ago. Okay, now you keep flipping the pages, it does talk about a $1,200 order. Okay, the $1,200 order, it just keeps going down. But again, if 1,800 is pretty thin with one of this and one of this, a 1,200 is getting really thin. Okay, you're getting a few skincare items, sets, and then a few of the glamour, bits and pieces of glamour. So that's what a 1,200 would be. But you do get a couple bonuses yet, a couple bundles, and it would be better if you couldn't start any higher. And then they go down to the bottom line, what they call 600. Okay. And 600 is just, it's a basketful. It is enough that if you would actually sit down and maybe order whatever you wanted, your mother ordered, and a couple other people, that is probably what you could order at a 600. There are women that you will give a facial to that will come in and buy $300 at one time. You will have an $800 party someday. You will have, varies, but it all varies. But I'm telling you, the product does sell. The product is top ranked in America, and it's top ranked. We're number 5 in the world right now. So I'm going to just guarantee you, even with you not knowing quite sure even how to sell, just know that the products are good. So if you have the products, you show the products, it is hard not to be able to sell the products. But that's just the bottom line, 600. Anybody can start with 600. Anybody, in my opinion. But that's not my favorite spot, but if you couldn't do anything higher, it's still better. So that is my true and honest opinion of inventory. If there's any way you can, that is another thing too, to pick up the phone and call me. If you have any concerns, have any questions about that, some of you have a husband that's looking, on with you with this business. I have no problem discussing anything with them. And I will just look forward to hearing from you and see if I can help you figure out how you're going to run this business. And inventory is good for you. So feel free to call me. Thanks.